Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Thorns and this is my reading of Caithe's Requiem, the final Requiem of the 3-part series leading up to the season 4 finale, War Eternal. Fair warning here, I think you're going to need some tissues. I know that I did. It's strange. Here at the end, all I can think about is the beginning. You were so small once. Tiny, jewel bright bird, beginning to test her wings. Every time you took flight, it stole my breath away. I should have spent more time in those moments. Little one. Now, I'll never see you fly again. And Kraukatoric, the one who took you from me, has slipped through our fingers again. The end has come. Without you, what hope does Tyria have? My duty now is to bear witness to the end of all things. To stand beside your shell as I wait for reality itself to crumble away. It doesn't frighten me. How could it? My world ended when your heart stopped beating. The pale tree, the dream, and Tari's tablet, they taught us that Sylvari are born full grown. But before you, I was a child. I considered myself the most important creature in the world. I made so many mistakes. I wonder if you still would have liked me back then, when I watched Gideon beg the pale tree to change her ways. We were just beginning to see what the world was really like beyond the safety of our peaceful grove, and it shook us. Tyria was so big, so full of contradictions. Ventari's tablet did not explain why other civilizations, other people had mothers and fathers, why they followed the scriptures of gods they couldn't see, why some followed no scripture at all, didn't explain why the Asuras found Melomedes, and pulled his brilliant mind apart, changing him forever with their torture in the name of science. Firstborn clung to Ventari's tablet, using its peaceful teachings as a shield. But the secondborn were frustrated and restless, and Gideon, a child of daylight, wanted action. He wanted vengeance. Gideon stood before the pale tree and asked her to abandon Ventari's tablet. The world had shown us its ugly face, he said, and the tablet prevented us from defending ourselves. He wanted us to display our strength, show our thorns. I remember thinking he was a fool, an empty-headed secondborn who could never understand the importance of a peaceful life. I hoped the pale tree's avatar would appear and tear him down for his ridiculous ideas. Instead, he received only silence. It was one of those moments where fate diverged, where mere words could have changed the course of everything to come. If only I could have seen a glimpse of the future like you, I would have acted differently. I would have known that who I was then is not who I wish to be now. Caithe was wounded, and of course he was. He had spoken out, and the pale tree ignored him. I am the first of my generation, he insisted. I deserve to be heard. I could have been gentle with him, told him he mattered, that the pale tree heard and understood all her children. I could have been harsh and called him a traitor, warned him his wild streak would endanger us all. They were both what he needed to hear. But I was callous back then, and so shallow. Why should she care? I said. She has thousands of children now, Caithe. You're either firstborn, or you're a simple Sylvari. To Fowlin. From the moment we emerged together, Fowlin and I were like two leaves sprouted from the same branch. She had endless questions, and all I ever wanted was to find answers for her. We ventured into the vast unknown together, saw beautiful and terrible things. We made the world our own. I thought I had been created just for her, that she was born to discover, to change and shape everything she touched. And I was born to love her. Maybe I really did love Fowlin in my own way. But I was so selfish then. I think I only loved the way everyone looked at me when I was with her. She knew it, and she used it. When I was young, I thought I knew everything there was to know. I was a firstborn Sylvari. The tablet told us that we were the purest creatures in the world. And I believed it, because I wanted so desperately to be unique, to be special. We were just beginning to see our own insignificance in the world. And while it drove Fowlin and made her hungrier, it caused me to turn inwards, become even more arrogant. It masked my fear of not being important, of becoming nothing. It was the tiniest seed of a weakness, the desire, no, the need to be exceptional. But Fowlin found it. She had a knack for finding weaknesses and exploiting them. In the beginning, she was sweet, even romantic. She took me to the moonlit clearings where fireflies danced around our feet. She wove summer flowers through my hair and held my face in her hands and told me I was the most beautiful, important person she would ever know, that I would make a difference, that she was proud of me. I loved the way she looked at me, like I was the only creature in the world. I felt like she understood me, as no one else could. There was such admiration in her eyes. It became hard to look away. I needed her to be my mirror, because I couldn't see what she saw. I needed her love to feel whole, which was precisely what she wanted. Depending on Fowlin felt so natural, just like loving her. I was so young, so untested. I thought they were the same thing. I knew so long as I had Fowlin, I could do anything. I was ensnared. I was her prey. That was when things changed. It's easy to look back now and say I should have seen what Fowlin really was. What she was doing when she would ignore me for days at a time, seemingly out of the blue, when she would come back as if nothing had happened and chastise me for getting upset. But it's difficult to recognize when you're under the murky water. She made it difficult. She would starve me of the attention she once lavished on me. She withheld it from me when she saw I was hungriest for it. And when I would finally get angry, she wilted, acted as though I had wounded her, made it my fault, mine, never hers, not even ours together. Fallon began hinting that I was becoming dull. She said that without her I would be indistinguishable from other Sylvari. Sometimes she wondered out loud if she would grow bored with me. She knew exactly what to say. And I was so deep under the water, I believed her. I would do whatever it took to regain her attention. I did favors for her, made myself perfect for her, picked fights with her. In my eyes, even her anger was better than her indifference, but none of it worked. The only time she gave me her full attention was to scrutinize me. Fowlin picked me apart. The things she used to say she loved about me, my directness, my preference for listening over speaking, the way I brought her back when she pushed boundaries. Now she criticized, even despised them. She said I was holding her back, that she could be so much more without me. But she stayed with me out of pity. And just when I decide I was more miserable with her than I would ever be on my own, she would turn back into the loving, attentive partner I remembered from long ago. She would take me back to the clearing and weave flowers in my hair. Tell me I was special. If only I would stop dragging myself down. I wish I could say I escaped her in the end, little one. But she escaped me. In the Nightmare Court, she found a community of Sylvari desperate for change, for something they could believe in, and she used them too. My freedom lay in staying behind when she left. I used the pale tree and Ventari's tablet to give me the strength I didn't think I had, and they helped me move past her. The pale tree helped me live well and full, to never leave a wrong, to ripen into evil. Those teachings gave me the peace I needed, gave me a purpose where I had none. But that was all a lie too. When Wynne revealed the truth of the Sylvari to me, that we were created only to serve Mortimer, I felt hollowed out all over again. The pale tree's words healed me and brought me out of the darkness, but they had been empty. A convenient lie she spun to give us meaning where there was none. We were not pure. We were simply tools to be directed at a target. I was meant to be used again. I was so angry at the pale tree, at my mother. But now I understand why she hid the truth from us. A mother does whatever she can to protect her child, even if it means lying. I wish I could take away the terrible knowledge you had to live with, my little one. I wish I could undo your fate and make it my own. Everything I've been through, I would suffer again just to spare you. That's what love is. Do you remember when we first met? You were still inside your egg, growing into the beautiful creature you would soon become. Mordemoth spoke to me the same way the dream did. Not with thoughts, but with feelings, desires, impulses. I felt my own second wild hunt tickle the back of my mind to protect Glint's egg, protect you. The feeling came so easily, wanting to keep you safe. I hadn't even seen your face, but I knew you were so special. Protecting you wasn't an order. It was an instinct. But then the thoughts turned. Take the egg to the heart of Maguma, my impulse told me. I didn't know what I would find there. But the very fibers of my heart were pulling me forward. Sylvari were not meant to question their wild hunts. We were meant to fulfill them. But I remembered what Wind told me when she revealed the truth. Trust no one. Not even the commander. I tried to make sense of the notion blossoming in my mind, one that felt so much like my own, but I knew that Mordemoth's whispers were indistinguishable from my wild hunt. Was I to just ignore my own desires? Did my instincts even belong to me anymore? Or was I just being used yet again? I was more alone than I had ever been. The pale tree, the commander, Wynne, I trusted no one, not even myself. It was just you and me and that horrible, endless jungle. And so I focused on you. I devoted every part of myself to keeping you from harm. I understood your importance in the world, even if I wasn't certain of the future. But it was more than that. You were all I had. I couldn't lose you too. Losing you would have meant losing myself. I think that's when I understood. I would never be significant. And that was okay. No Sylvari, not Caithe, not Fowler, not Wynne, not even the pale tree mattered all that much. We weren't pure, perfect beings, and we weren't the most important creatures in the world. You were, and I would protect you with everything I had. The pale tree protected me, protected all Sylvari the only way she knew how. She hid the terrible truth of the world from us and tried to make us feel safe and supported. It made me believe I was chosen, special. But it was never about that. It was about passing this feeling on to others, and I passed it on to you, my jewel bright bird. Protecting you didn't mean hiding the ugliness of the world from you. I wanted you to be strong in ways I never was, to face your fate head on courage and confidence. I needed you to be ready. So I stayed with you, and I taught you everything I'd learnt. All my mistakes, my pain. It would help you grow. It was the most important thing I have ever done, and will ever do. You would save the world, the Sylvari, the dream, all of it. But you were never just that to me. You weren't simply the dragon who would defeat Kraugotoric. You were mine, and I was yours. You taught me how to love fully and without holding back. No matter how guarded I was around others, you saw what no one else did. The warmth under my core. I finally had a purpose. I empathize now with the pale tree. She was a mother, forced to send her children into the cold and unforgiving world, knowing the harm, even death, that would befall them. But that mother must let her children fly, even fall, so that they may learn. And you'd fallen before, only to get back up stronger and more certain, and I was always there to help you. I thought you were ready. I thought we could win together. And now I've lost you. You're a part of me, and I of you. How does a heart beat when half of it is gone? I wish I had done more to show you how much I loved you. How much you meant to me, to all of us. I haven't heard from the commander in days. I wonder if our leader's heart has crumbled into dust too. Now we have no plan, no ideas, nothing left but to mourn our lost hope, our lost child, and the terrible, beautiful world she tried to protect. I hope I see you soon, little one. When the end comes, we need to be with you for this. All of us. You brought so many people together, touched so many souls. We should face what comes together, one last time. I can't do this alone. I need someone else to help me meet the end of all things, and the failure of all our plans and dreams. Someone who loves you like I do. It's time I called the commander. If you enjoyed this narration, please like, share, subscribe, and show some love to Hain, Ada, Molany, Cub, Jolly Joestar, Christopher Martin, Sir Azu, Dark Griever, and all my wondrous patrons, without whom I would be unable to dedicate the time and resources I do to my content creation. I can never thank them all enough. And if you feel inspired and want to learn more about the wonderful lore of Guild Wars 2, there are referral links below to the free-to-play game, the Heart of Thorns expansion, and the Path of Fire expansion 2, thanks to the generosity of ArenaNet and their partner program, of whom I am a proud affiliate. Using any of these referral links directly supports my channel. Now I hope you will join me again for more Guild Wars 2 goodness very soon. But until then, as always, thanks for watching.